Okay, and we are live. So thanks everyone for tuning in to the next part of our series on What's Your Stories, checking in with the 3S Award winners. This is part of a series where we interview the finalists of the 3S Awards, learn more about what they're doing in their own organizations, and tell you a little bit more about their stories. So first I'll go into, so this is hosted by the Global Sourcing Council. So who are we? What is the Global Sourcing Council? So we're a nonprofit that emphasizes profit with purpose. We're an organization focusing on sustainable and socially responsible global business. We help empower organizations and businesses around the world to operate responsibly and develop innovative solutions. So part of what we do is we host an annual award ceremony called the 3S Awards, which is an empowerment platform for small to mid-size profit with purpose business enterprises. And we recognize individuals and organizations that have demonstrated exceptional social, economic leadership in innovating, improving, and implementing sustainable and socially responsible sourcing practices. So today we have Australia, who's the head of business development and the co-founder of Bwom, who took third place this year in the empowerment part of the 3S Awards. And this award category recognized companies addressing empowerment through the fields of education, gender empowerment, which we'll get into today, infrastructure, inequality, and economic growth. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yeah, so to start off, we just want to hear about the story behind Bwom. So how did you get involved? How did Bwom begin?
So Bwom was started first by Veronica Torres, which is the first founder, and she identified that there was she specialized in women's intimate health and pharmaceuticals, and she identified that a lot of devices that are actually therapeutical for the pelvic floor were not being sold at pharmacies but at sex shops, and therefore a lot of women would be ashamed or not feel comfortable going to get them. And then when we met, we had our first conversation. I remember it was supposed to be like a chat to just get to know each other, and we ended up having a conversation for 2 hours and realized that we had very aligned values when it came to women's empowerment and what we felt that was a lack of awareness of the actual needs around women's intimate health, particularly when you talk about the different transitions that women's bodies go through: pregnancy, postpartum, menopause period. And we both thought that there was a bigger opportunity to build something more relevant. So together with our co-founders, we decided to set out to build the first app focusing on women's intimate health that provides personalized solutions for women, and they are based on data that we collect. So that's how it all started, and it just keeps growing and growing, and then we keep reaching more countries, and yeah, it's a very exciting thing.
So what kind of communities are you operating in right now? What markets is Bwom available?
Right now, we have our app available in Spanish and English. So we are present in Europe, North America, and South America. In all the countries that are either English or Spanish speaking, and some other English speaking countries such as Australia and other parts. We have a long tail of other countries that are logged in, but mostly 10 countries in America.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So moving right along, where do you get your passion from when it comes to healthcare and this kind of intersection between healthcare and technology?
I guess, I mean, for me personally, healthcare and education and women empowerment were always big passions of mine. Those are topics I would always get involved into and talk about with my communities and everything. And so for a long part, like for some period of my career, I was doing other things that ended up not making me feel fulfilled. So when I found a chance to really put my passions to work, it was a great opportunity that I would never regret. In terms of technology, I mean, if you analyze what's going on right now in healthcare, it's major. And of course, it's an industry that moves at a slower pace than other more innovative or modern industries. Healthcare has, because of the nature of how it is inherently, and the delicate subject that touches upon. But I think that what's happening now is that technologies are being used to start shifting power from only a very small part of the population that is highly specialized to actually give consumers and give the people some education, personalized information, data, so they can better understand their health, their bodies, what they can do to feel better. Healthcare technology is also helping healthcare move and shift to a more preventive approach. which in my opinion is long overdue. So it's this whole revolution that is happening right now that is very exciting to be operating in.
It seems like the kind of underlying theme of a lot of this work is access,
Yes.
providing people with access to, and I mean, this, when we talk about empowerment in the award category where Bwom was recognized, I think that the question of access becomes really important. And it seems like digital technology, you know, everyone has access to their mobile phone, some type of mobile device nowadays. So I guess that has kind of helped some organization like Bwom really address this question of access.
Yes, we do. And the empowerment thing, I think we also see it in the sense of we deal with issues that are considered a taboo that no one talks about. So what we want to do also is help women find in the privacy of their phones every resource that they need to start understanding what they're going through, and then seek help or talk to wherever they feel ready to do it. But just be able to open up a conversation with them and tell them, hey, like this is that you're going through, and it's not just you. Don't feel alone. A lot of other women are going through it, and there are solutions. We deal with a lot of urinary incontinence and sexual dysfunctions and recovery post childbirth and things that most people just don't mention openly. So yeah.
So these are it seems like and people are in need. Women are in need of a safe space to talk about some of these issues.
Mm-hmm.
And mobile and your app really is providing that for them.
Yeah, and education, because we, grow up and nobody tells us about all the changes that we're going to go through and what the implications are and what we can do to prevent. So that's really the space that we want to create to them, and we think that we can really help, change women's health. Yeah.
How has it been getting women in the communities that you work to actually download the app? How do you promote it, or how do you go through healthcare providers?
We have several channels. We started doing heavily investing in Facebook marketing. So that's how we get a lot of our users, because we're a digital solution. So it's the best channel to reach everyone through interests. And then we also work with influencers, midwives, doulas, PTs, OBGYNs that have a strong voice in the community that tell women what they need to do and help them get support. Fitness and yoga pre and postnatal instructors that have strong social media followings. We talk to the media. We try to just get the word out there, go to events, etc. And then on the other side, as you were mentioning, our idea actually is at some point, and we're starting to build these relationships already with organizations, healthcare centers, institutions, insurances, and employers, and try to work with them to provide the solution for their population so they can save costs and at the same time help their female population stay healthier.
That's really great. So really being in touch with the communities and addressing the need.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. So how do you think, so we in these kind of like discussions on healthcare, even internationally, everyone's talking about the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yeah.
The goals were adopted in 2015 by the United Nations. And everyone's talking about the 2030 agenda. So how can we address these goals? So Bwom really hits two of these home, which is 3 and 5. So
yes.
gender equality and healthcare. So how does your work in your view relate to the SDGs?
I think there's different ones. Like you said, we actually got authorized to use the SAMSOF goals 3 and 5, good health, well-being, and gender empowerment, because our company was built specifically to address those two. We believe that if women don't have a very good level of health and well-being, they will not be able to perform at work with their families and in their social relationships at the same level that a man is allowed to. So we really want to save this lack of balance and put them at the same position. On the other hand, the way we try to do everything is marked by those goals, I think, and by the what you were saying about access to. We try, and this is one reason why we want to work with corporations, because we try to work with direct to consumer and we offer the app to users. We are keeping prices really low because we think that all women should have access to this type of information and resources and so on. That's one of the ways. Secondly, I think at a more corporate level, we try to follow the rules that we preach. So we try to also within us. So right now we're all female employees except for one, and another one part-time. So actually 1.5. So we try to, first of all, just follow, just try to like have a diverse environment and empower each other. We try to also have flexibility with our employees if they're having any personal things that they need to address, whether they have families or something. So we try to really apply all these rules to everything that we do. And we try to lead our company in a way that is sustainable, that is not producing any waste, that is minimal resources accessible, that is transparent and providing the most value to society.
Fantastic. We don't have too much more time, but I want to go to a few more questions, which is, if you could share one piece of advice for upcoming social enterprises, social entrepreneurs that are interested in getting in the space, interested in social good.
So for new social entrepreneurs, I would say, first of all, do it. Of course, you're getting into a very exciting space. There's a lot going on right now, and there's more and more resources that are going to be there for you, which was not the case 10 years ago. But also, my tip of advice, I'd say, is test your idea, create a minimum viable product, test it in the market, see what the response is, and also test the reality of what your day-to-day life will be, working full-time in that and devoting your whole life to it. Because once you become a social entrepreneur, when you are an entrepreneur in general, you really become your company to some extent, particularly when it's something that you're very passionate about. So you really need to make sure that you care so deeply about the problem that you're solving, that you're willing to say the name of your company more times a day than you say your own name. So you really need to be committed to that, because once you start, it will get tough, but it's so worth it that you just need to choose that as a really nice fire.
Great. I think that's excellent advice. We'll do one more last question, then we'll get more into Bwom. So what does pursuing profit with purpose mean to you?
For me, the meaning of that sentence is related to building businesses that solve real problems that have been there for a long time and have been insufficiently addressed. I think that the concept of social entrepreneurship is something, or CSR is something that, or I hope, or in my head, the concept should eventually disappear, because I think that the way that business is evolving, at some point, business will be required to be solving a big problem for society and doing so in a sustainable, honest, and transparent way. Therefore, applying all those rules and making businesses abide by those rules will, turn every company into, what was the sentence that you used exactly? Profit with purpose, exactly, into a business that does profit with purpose. I think that should be inevitably the mission of a company, and not just purely generate money without building something valuable for society.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree. I think that's the way the private sector is moving in that direction. And it's really good to see social entrepreneurs really leading the pack when it comes to that. So really quickly, what's next for Bwom, and then if people are interested who are watching, again, this will be posted after our live session as well. So if you happen to watch this video, where can they learn more?
So they can learn more at www.b-wom.com. Or they can just visit our social media on Instagram or Twitter at HelloBwom. And as in terms of what's next for us, so right now what we're trying to do is basically to consolidate our user base in the United States, to reach a lot of people that are not in the main metropolitan areas, but also people that have even less access to this type of resources or conversations, and then to start expanding globally, while at the same time we build really good relationships with healthcare stakeholders so they can really get involved into this new change, and then we can transform the way the system cares for women.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Just to close, so if you're interested in helping organizations like Bwom in the future, please donate to our Entrepreneurs Development Fund. We'll post a link in the description, in addition to the website for Bwom. In addition to your donation, please check out all of our other videos of all of our other finalists that are on our 3S Awards website. And then stay tuned to our next episode of What's Your Story, checking with the 3S Award winners, where you'll learn more about our finalists. So thank you so much again for joining me, Australia, and it was a fantastic conversation.
Yes, I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.